परमकृष्ण सच्चिदानन्दविग्रह अनादिरादिर्गोविन्द सर्वकारणकारणम् चिन्तामणिप्रकरसद्मसुकल्पवृक्ष लक्षावृतेषु सुरभेरविपालयन्तम् लक्ष्मीसहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानम् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि वेणुं कोणन्तमरविन्ददलायताक्षं बर्हार्वतं समसिताम्बुदसुन्दराङ्गं कन्दर्पकोटिकमनीयविशेषशोभं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आलोलचन्द्रकलसद्वनमाल्यवंशी रत्नाङ्गदं प्रणयकेलिकलाविलासं श्यामं त्रिभङ्गललितं नियतप्रकाशं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अङ्गानि यस्य सकलेन्द्रियवृत्तिमन्ते पश्यन्ति पान्ति कलयन्ति चिरं जगन्ते आनन्दचिन्मयसदुज्ज्वलविग्रहस्य गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि अद्वैतमच्युतमनादिमनन्तरूपम् आद्यं पुराणपुरुषं नवयौवनं च वेदेषु दुर्लभमदुर्लभमात्मभक्तो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि पन्तास्तु कोटिशतवत्सरसम्प्रगम्यो वायोरथापि मनसो मुनिपुङ्गवानां सोऽप्यस्ति यत्प्रपदसिन्व्यविचिन्ततत्त्वे गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि एकोऽप्यसो रचयितुं जगदण्डकोटिं यच्चक्षिरस्ति जगदण्डचयायन्ताः अण्डान्तरस्थपरमाणुचयान्तरस्थम् गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यद्भावभावितधियो मनुजास्तथैव सम्प्राप्य रूपमहिमासनयानभूषाः सुक्तिर्वमेव निगमप्रतिगैस्तुवन्ते गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसप्रतिभाविताभिः ताभिर्य एव निजरूपतया कलाभिः गोलोक एव निवसत्यखिलात्मभूतो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि प्रेमाञ्जनच्चुरितभक्तिविलोचनेन सन्तः सदैव हृदयेषु विलोकयन्ति यं श्यामसुन्दरमचिन्त्य गुणस्वरूपं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि रामादिमूर्तिषु कलानियमेन तिष्ठन् नानावतारमकरोढुवनेषु किन्तु कृष्णः स्वयं समभवत्परमः पुमान्यो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि यस्य प्रभा प्रभवतो जगदण्डकोटि कोटिष्वशेषवसुधादिविभूतिभिन्नं तद्ब्रह्मनिष्कलमनन्तमशेषभूतं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि माया हि यस्य जगदण्डशतानि सूते त्रैगुण्यतद्विषयवेदवितायमाना सत्त्वावलम्बि परसत्त्वं विशुद्धसत्त्वं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि आनन्दचिन्मयरसात्मतया मनःसु यः प्राणिनां प्रतिफलं स्मरतामुपेत्य लीलायितेन भुवनानि जयत्यजस्रं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि
माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनारंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनारंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनारंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनारंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jayam Vishubhat Paramahansa Pradipata Kacharya Ashvatara Sata Sri Srimat His Divine Grace Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishubhat Paramahansa Pradipata Kacharya Ashvatara Sata Sri Srimat His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय श्रीमती तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन की जय श्री श्री गौनिताई की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ सुभद्रा बलदेव की जय गौर प्रेमानंदी all glories to the Sambhavatis, all glories to the Sambhavatis, all glories to the Sambhavatis, all glories to Sri Guru, Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vasubhadade Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvesesha Sunyavadhi Pastyatare Tarine Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayesha Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Krishna Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Skanda, 2nd chapter, sloka 5, 6, 7, 8. So I shall read sloka number 5, 6, 7, and together we'll read sloka number 8. Tatra pravishtam vrishayah drishtva arkam iva rochisha brajamanam vitimiram kurvantam tat mahat sadaha tatra pravishtam rishayo drishtvarkamiva rochisha brajamanam vitimiram kurvantam tanmahat sadaha. Tatra, there, pravishtam, having entered, rishayaha, the sages, drishtva, seeing, are come the sun, Eva, just like Rochisha with luster, Brajamanam, shining, Vitimiram, free from darkness, Kurvantam, making that Mahat, great, Sadaha, assembly. Translation. When Daksha, the leader of the Prajapatis, entered that assembly, his personal bodily luster as bright as the effulgence of the sun, the entire assembly was illuminated, and all the assembled personalities became insignificant in his presence. Please repeat. When Daksha, the leader of the Prajapatis, entered that assembly, his personal bodily luster, as bright as the effulgence of the sun, the entire assembly was illuminated, and all the assembled personalities became insignificant in his presence. Shloka number 6. Udatishtan sadasyaha te swadhishnebhyaha saha agnayaha rite virincham sarvam cha tat bhasa akshipta chetasaha udatishtan sadasyaste swadhishnebhya sahagnayah rite virincham sarvam cha tadbhasa kshipta chetasaha. Udatishtan stood up. Sadasyaha, the members of the assembly, they, swadhishnebhyaha, from their own seats, saha agnayaha, along with the fire gods, rite, except for Virincham, Brahma, Sarvam, Shiva, Cha, and Tat, his Dakshas, Bhasa, by the luster, Akshipta, are influenced, Chetasaha, those whose minds. Translation. Influenced by his personal bodily luster, all the fire gods and other participants in that great assembly, with the exceptions of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, gave up their own sitting places and stood in respect for Daksha. Please repeat. Influenced by his personal bodily luster, all the fire gods and other participants in that great assembly, with the exceptions of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, gave up their own sitting places and stood in respect for Daksha. Sri Sri Gaurnitai ki jai, Sri Sri Radha Madan Mohan ki jai, Sri Sri Jagannath Subhadra Baladev ki jai. Shloka number 7. Sadasaha Patibihi Dakshaha Bhagavan Sadhu Satkritaha Ajam Lokagurum Natva Nishasada Tadagyaya Sadasaspatibhir Daksho Bhagavan Sadhu Satkritaha Ajam Lokagurum Natva Nishasada Tadagyaya. Sadasaha of the assembly, Patibihi, by the leaders, Daksha, Bhagavan, the possessor of all opulences, Sadhu, properly Satkritaha, was welcomed Ajam to the unborn Brahma, Lokagurum to the teacher of the universe, Natva making obeisances, Nishasada sat down, Tadagdyaya by his Brahma's order. Translation. Daksha was adequately welcomed by the President of the Great Assembly, Lord Brahma. After offering Lord Brahma respect, Daksha, by the order of Brahma, properly took his seat. Please repeat. Daksha was adequately welcomed by the President of the Great Assembly, Lord Brahma. After offering Lord Brahma respect, Daksha, by the order of Brahma, properly took his seat. Prak, this is sloka number 8. Prak, Nishannam, Mrudam, Drishtva, Na Amrishat, Tat, Anadritaha, Uvacha, Vamam, Chakshurabhyam, Abhivikshya, Dahan, Iva. Pranishannam Mridam Drishtva, Namritshat Tadanadritaha, Uvacha Vamam Chakshurabhyam, Abhivikshya Dahan Pragnishannam Vidam Drishtva Namrishyat Tadanadritaha Uvacha Vamam Chakshurabhyam Abhivikshya Dahanniva Pranishannam Vidam Drishtva Namrishyat Tadanadritaha Uvacha Vamam Chakshurabhyam Abhivikshya Dahanniva. Vaishnavis, Prak, before, Nishannam, being seated, Vrudam, Lord Shiva, Drishtva, seeing, Na Amrishat, did not tolerate that by him, Shiva, Anadritaha, not being respected, Uvacha said, Vamam, dishonest, Chakshurabhyam, with both eyes, Abhivikshya, looking at, Dahan, burning, Iva, as if. Translation. Before taking his seat, however, Daksha was very much offended to see Lord Shiva sitting and not showing him any respect. At that time, Daksha became greatly angry and his eyes glowing, he began to speak very strongly against Lord Shiva. Please repeat. Before taking his seat. However, Daksha was very much offended to see Lord Shiva sitting and not showing him any respect. At that time, Daksha became greatly angry and his eyes glowing. He began to speak very strongly against Lord Shiva. Purport by Zivangre Sesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Shiva, being the son-in-law of Daksha, was expected to show his father-in-law respect by standing with the others. But because Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are the principal demigods, their positions are greater than Daksha's. Daksha, however, could not tolerate this, and he took it as an insult by his son-in-law. Previously also, he was not very much satisfied with Lord Shiva, for Shiva looked very poor and was niggardly in dress. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapadakamalam Sri Jutam Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vidantam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakham Vitansya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Padamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpadarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This is the second chapter, fourth skanda, entitled Daksha Curses Lord Shiva. So this narration given by Maitreya Muni to Vidura. Vidura was inquisitive about the conflict between Daksha and Lord Shiva. He asked that why was Daksha so angry against Lord Shiva? Lord Shiva is a very honorable personality. He is very looking like very innocent, and he is not showing any sign of disrespect towards anyone. On the contrary, he is even welcoming in his fold all the lowest and most sinful living entities in the universe. Everybody is welcome to have the association of Lord Shiva. So he is so humble and so compassionate. So why should Daksha find fault and have a fight against Lord Shiva? So that's a question put forward by Vidura. Now we are hearing the answer by Maitreya Muni. He is narrating the occasion where Daksha became angry at Lord Shiva. The occasion was a great yajna organized by Daksha Prajapati. Here he is called Bhagavan, Bhagavan Daksha, in one of the slokas here, yes, Bhagavan Sadhu Satkritaha. So he was very effulgent, Daksha. All the assembled demigods were present there, and many great rishis and all the great personalities of the universe were attending this great yajna organized by Daksha Prajapati for the welfare of the universe. And including Lord Brahma himself and Lord Shiva. So after everybody was sitting in the assembly, then Lord Daksha himself made his appearance, and everybody stood up to receive Daksha so that the ceremony can start. So everybody stood up except for Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. So Daksha was observing this, and then Lord Brahma offered respect to Daksha and welcomed him to this assembly. And Daksha acknowledged this welcome and offered respect, obeisances to the father of the universe, the grandfather, Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma is the father of Daksha, Prajapati. So all this is conducted under the supervision, ultimately, of Lord Brahma, personally present there. Lord Brahma is called here also Ajam. Ajam means unborn. Yeah. What is the Ajam Lokagurum Natva? Yes. Lokagurum means the teacher of the universe, and Ajam to the unborn Brahma. Why Brahma is called unborn? Actually, he is born, but not in ordinary manner. He is born of the navel of Lord Vishnu, and he appeared on the top of the lotus flower emanating from the from Lord Vishnu. So in this way, Lord Brahma is called Aja, unborn, not born from husband, wife, as in the ordinary way. In this way, Lord Brahma is given respect by Daksha, but Lord Shiva is not given respect by Daksha, because, as indicated here, that Daksha had a bad impression, first of all, about Lord Shiva. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that previously also, Daksha was not very much satisfied with Lord Shiva, for Shiva looked very poor and was niggardly in dress. So Lord Shiva is the son-in-law of Daksha because Lord Shiva married Sati, the daughter of Daksha Prajapati. That was described earlier. Sati was very much devoted to Lord Shiva, and she wanted Lord Shiva as a husband. So Daksha relented, and then he agreed about this union between Sati and Shiva. But inwardly, Daksha was not happy about his son-in-law because Lord Shiva's appearance is not ordinary. He looks not very attractive in some way. He looks different. He is smeared, his body is smeared with ashes from the smashan, and his neck is surrounded by dangerous snakes. He is not caring about his bodily appearance or his dress. So for these reasons, Daksha was not in good terms with Lord Shiva, considering Lord Shiva as very inferior in quality as compared to the other demigods. Actually, Lord Shiva, his position is different from the other demigods. He is on a higher platform. He is almost like Vishnu Tattva. Not Jiva Tattva, not Vishnu Tattva. He is in between. And his abode also is in between this material world and the spiritual world. So his quality is certainly higher than ordinary demigods. But Daksha could not recognize this, and considering Lord Shiva as inferior because of his external appearance. So when Lord Shiva did not get up from his seat, when Daksha entered the assembly, Daksha noticed it, and immediately his anger against Lord Shiva came to the front. So in this way, that was the beginning of this dispute between Lord Shiva, Daksha, and then that took a very big scale. This Chudanda Swami was telling us always that this dispute that happened at the beginning, now Satya Yuga, but now also it is being felt. So this dispute is going on. So it is very important to understand what is the origin of this dispute, so that we may have some idea. So Srimad Bhagavatam is relating this important story of the Daksha Yajna, and then the consequence will be that Sati will have to give up her body. So that is very important consequences for the future of the world. So this is the beginning here. So this material world is actually full of this type of conflicts. People think that they are greater than others because of the position that they may occupy for the time being. They may be elevated to some post, and immediately their ego will also have a boost. And they'll think that all those who are below them, they should give proper respect. So that is some type of etiquette in the material world. And if the etiquette is not followed sometime, then there'll be a dispute. Oh, why you are not showing me respect? I am this and that, and you are just below, and you are my inferior, or you are my subordinate, and so on. So this type of dispute is everywhere felt in a family. The elder brother, the younger brother, the parents, of course, father, mother, they occupy their own position. So sometimes there will be dispute on account of these positions, and etiquette may not be respected always. So what is the answer to that? Prabhupada many times was questioned about the problems of the world, and he had directed one of his disciples, Bhagavan Goswami, to write a book that listing all the problems of the world. He can make an inventory, and the solution is Krishna consciousness for every problem. So Krishna consciousness is the only solution for all the problems of the world, including here this type of dispute between two personalities. Both of them are great, but there is something which is not matching, and that can result in conflict and war and so many things. So just to give an example, just that comes to my mind, I think in the 15th or 16th century in Italy, in two villages side by side. There was in one of the villages where the well was empty, dry. So one inhabitant from that village, seeing the dry well, then went to the next village with a bucket of water and filled up his bucket and came back to his village. So seeing this, the inhabitants of the village became very angry. How dare you are to come here and take water from our well? This is our well. You have your own well. Why you are not going there? You be there. So there was dispute, insult, and then all village came together, and the other village also, all the inhabitants coming together. Then there was village fight. That village fight became bigger and bigger, and all neighboring villages also came and supporting each other in this way. There was a war. That war lasted 30 years, just for a bucket of water. So that is famous in the history, when you study European history, that it is called the 30 years war. So we are thinking, when I see 30 years war, it must be very, very important, very big. No, 30 years, that means must be the stake, the argument must have been very big. But then we go to the origin of it, we see just a bucket of water. So that is the material world. One insignificant cause may cause a very big conflict. So here, something like that also happened just because Lord Shiva did not stand up from his seat when Daksha arrived. Then became dispute, and that dispute is still going on now also. So Krishna consciousness is the solution. So here we are in this assembly of persons who are trying to become devotees. Prabhupada sometimes insisted that. I remember at the farm, New Nami Sharanya, no, actually it was here. Yeah, it was here in this temple. There was preparations being made for the Guru Puja, and then Prabhupada came and saw the arrangement made for the Guru Puja. And so Prabhupada inquired about, everybody is here? Everybody is here? Then Mahamsa Swami, temple president, he saw that Prabhupada, I will call the devotees. Some devotees have not yet come. Then Prabhupada immediately said, devotees, who is a devotee here? Who is a devotee? We are trying to become devotees. We are not yet devotees. So that was Prabhupada's immediate answer to that. We should try to understand this, that we are not yet devotees. We are trying to become devotees. So those who are trying to become devotees, they should try to understand how to become devotee. And that is the answer. The Krishna consciousness movement can answer all the problems of the world if the members of this ISKCON can sincerely try to become devotees and set an example for the rest of the world. So, devotee means humbleness. Humility is the mark of a devotee. So those who are trying to become devotees, they should try to understand this and assume a humble position, whatever may be their position, their post and service and so on. But they should develop that quality first of all in order to set up an example and establish peace within ourselves and within the world. So that is the importance of the Krishna consciousness movement, that all conflicts can be solved by application of Krishna consciousness. Krishna is the supreme proprietor. He is the supreme master. We are all his servants. Everybody is Krishna's servant. So that is the main idea. So between ourselves, we consider that everybody is a servant of Krishna. I'm trying to become servant, and he is also trying to serve Lord Krishna. So therefore, we are on the same level. We should not consider somebody higher or lower. In this way, the relationship will be very friendly and smooth between all the members. So that is the idea that Krishna consciousness can establish peace. But here, Daksha, he is also a devotee of the Lord, certainly, but he has forgotten one of the main qualities that he should develop, and that is humility. So he sees Lord Shiva not standing. It's not a big thing if somebody remains seated. So it is not so important. But Daksha took it very seriously. So in this way, that was the starting point. And then looking at Shiva's external appearance, but what is the what is the importance of external appearance? Somebody may be beautiful, somebody else may not be so beautiful. Different external appearance may be there, but it doesn't mean that the person should be disrespected because of his external appearance. So that is to be understood. So if we consider everyone on equal level, as Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that vidya vina sampanne brahmane gavi hastini sunichaiva swapakecha pandita samadarshina. Person who is really learned, he will see with equal vision a learned brahmana and a dog eater, and so on with equal vision. Because he will see not the external appearance, not the bodily constitution, but the soul proper. On the soul level, there is equality. So as long as we are ignorant of the presence of the soul within the body, then we'll be mistaken and we shall assume the external appearance to be very important. In this way, we shall distinguish between low, high, and so on. I'm on a higher platform, he is a lower platform. So this is ignorance. So by developing spiritual knowledge, we'll come to the point of seeing everything with equal vision. So that is the very important teaching from Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. At the beginning, Arjuna also was at fault, because considering that these are mere relatives and these are others, cousins, or he may be my elder and teacher and so on. So all this making distinction between different groups, different personalities. So Krishna had another plan. He wanted to take opportunity to annihilate all the non-devotees and established the Pandavas on the throne of Hastinapur. So in this way, Arjuna was supposed to be the instrument in the war, but he had this vision, imperfect vision. Or these are my relatives, so I should not do anything, and so on. So in the material concept of life, one is apt to commit all types of mistakes and not understanding properly what is the real situation. Really speaking, everybody, all the jivas are on equal level. Lord Shiva is on a higher level, being almost like Lord Vishnu. So Daksha certainly did not see Lord Shiva with proper vision. And he became angry, and his eyes became like fire, and he started to speak in an insulting Lord Shiva. So we have to be, as ISKCON, established by Srila Prabhupada for the purpose of bringing peace to the world. We should not have any such conflict within our own society also. Sometimes it may happen that different viewpoints and arguments may be there, different views. But at the same time, we should respect each other. So that is very important. Otherwise, the conflict of idea may bring about larger conflict of personalities and groups and so on, dissension, schism, and so on, just like in the other religious groups. This is a part of history of religion, that all the main religions of the world have separated. There are schisms everywhere, just like in the 16th century, then the Protestants became separate from the Catholics. They argued that there is corruption in the Catholic Church. The Pope himself is accumulating money, property, and so on, and there is a large-scale corruption at all levels. So these reformers, calling themselves reformers, they separated themselves and they arranged for their own groups of followers, and that became a schism. From that one split, now there are more than 300 various groups between Protestants and Catholics. So from one group, two groups, now 300 or more, and it is multiplying, because when there is a first schism or first split, that gives opportunity for more and more splits, because the reason is they have split, so I can also split. There is no reason why I cannot split. He already is a great personality, and he already split, so I can also split. No problem. In this way, the multiplication of various groups, and the result is that the impression given becomes lesser and lesser. Just like Gaudiya Math also had so many splits, and the result is that the preaching is practically stopped. The strength is gone, as Prabhupada told us many times. In Kali Yuga, strength comes from being together. It's like taking the example of a bunch of these small sticks. If the sticks are together, then becomes very strong. You cannot break the sticks. But if the sticks declare independence from each other, oh, I'm great, no, I'm great. So there's splits between the sticks. So every stick can easily be broken. That's what Prabhupada was telling us many times, that remaining together is very essential, and that is how we can preach strongly. Unitedly, the preaching can go on very forcefully. Otherwise, if there is split, then there cannot be any strength in the preaching. Gradually, preaching will stop. Then we'll be busy simply maintaining ourselves. Small group is there, small temple is there. That's enough. I'm happy. My followers are there. They are also happy. And we are happy. We are maintaining ourselves like this, remembering our Guru Maharaj, as though Guru Maharaj will be happy to see this. Oh, so 9 o'clock plus. Are there any questions or comments? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.